Today's racing and sports action games are more realistic than ever before. What does every major gaming company use to create these realistic assets and environments? In this video, we're going to show you how 3D scanning has literally been a game changer for these companies. Whether it's a race car, basketball shoe, trophy, or just about anything else you see in today's games, it was probably created from 3D scan data. Traditionally, game designers relied on taking hundreds to thousands of photos and measurements of cars, trucks, airplanes, or other complex shapes, and then spending months to design a 3D model based off those photos. For example, today's racing games require the design of not only a car's exterior, but the suspension components, engine, interior, and more. Customers expect detail down to every nut and bolt in today's games. These 3D models are then used in their gaming engines to create realistic animations. The problem with this process is it takes a very long time, uses a lot of resources, and many times is not very accurate. In this video, we are going to demonstrate how 3D scanning can drastically reduce the time, money, and effort to develop assets for the gaming industry. So let's take a look at some specific uses of 3D scanning. Some of the major auto racing gaming companies have partnered with EMS to purchase their own 3D scanners to 3D scan cars. In this example, we are 3D scanning Jeff Gordon's 2005 NASCAR race car. For this example, we are using a Creaform HandyScan Max Elite to not only 3D scan the major exterior surfaces, but because the HandyScan Max Elite has 3 scanning modes, this allows us to also 3D scan the front and rear suspension components, engine bay, and the driver's cockpit area. As you can see here, the amount of 3D scan data we are able to capture in just a few hours is unbelievable. This is the raw 3D scan data with no hole filling, generative AI manipulation. It's just the 3D scan data right from the 3D scanner. Next, we did some quick rendering by adding textures and labels to the vehicle 3D scan data to give us a first look at how the car will look in the gaming engine. From here, the gaming company will use the 3D scan data to build their digital model. This will be far more accurate and faster than those traditional methods we discussed. Next, let's take a look at a flight simulator example. In this example, a major flight simulator company didn't want to purchase their own 3D scanner, so they hired EMS to 3D scan over 50 aircraft for them. Some of the planes they wanted the exterior and interior, and others they only needed the interior or exterior. To accomplish this, EMS worked with both public museums and private collectors to get access to the planes. Some of these planes were very early one-of-a-kind aircraft that no one else had access to in the past, let alone to 3D scan them. An additional advantage of 3D scanning is now you have a digital archive of the aircraft to make a replica or just to preserve the data in case of a catastrophe. This flight simulator company used to measure all the aircraft cockpits by hand and take pictures, but many users of their games pointed out that the flight controls were not in the correct location or just plain inaccurate. This prompted them to find a more accurate way to model their aircraft. Now their aircraft are as accurate as possible, and their workflow time was cut in half thanks to 3D scanning. For sports games such as football, basketball, hockey, soccer, and more, Gaming companies are using 3D scanners to 3D scan everything from an athlete's shoes, skates, cleats, jerseys, and more to get the most accurate model possible. Another great use of 3D scanners is for trophies, which can be very detailed like you see here with the Stanley Cup. EMS was able to 3D scan the Stanley Cup with a level of detail and accuracy never seen before. These sports games look more realistic than ever, and 3D scanning is one of the reasons why. So if you're in the gaming simulation industry, 3D scanning is the fastest, most accurate way to digitally capture everything from a football to an entire airplane. If you would like to learn more about how EMS can help you beat the competition in the gaming industry, you can give us a call at 877-845-2700 or send us an email at info@ems3d.com.